Hello everybody, Sky right here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, this is going to be a rehash and a recap of all the events that are going to be ending, so we can keep these in track in case you may have forgotten before, you lose out on any possible rewards, any possible things involved with them, because there's a lot to keep track of in all honesty, and I'm also doing this for myself, to be honest, going over all the things here that we need to find, because first one off the top of the bat in particular is from the monthly event center that we have ongoing with the Infernal Trials, right? This one, unfortunately, right here for Vanguard, the Vanguard. Now, this resets a day before the current season of Vanguard ended. I didn't really pay attention to it myself personally, and I know there are a lot out there that might have missed it as well on the day before. You could have gotten all these done rather easily, but now if you didn't get it done, like myself and a lot of others, we're gonna have to wait until the 19th, or whenever the season starts again. I think is on the 19th, or sometime next week, before we can even remotely attempt these again. Now, fortunately, of course, when it comes to this anyway, these will still be here. They're not time gated like, for instance, the Trial of the Hordes here, as you can see, which also, reminder, 3 days and whatever on as of this recording for it left on it, so make sure you get your points in on it. It's pretty quick, it's pretty simple. I did 5 runs myself and got everything done in here, so I was pretty happy about it, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it, because it just gets kind of trivial after a while. But yeah, Vanguard is a prime example of things to keep track of, and it's unfortunate that this was easily an oversight by the developers by the season happened to ending, and then they just went and recycled this into the event center for tasks again, yet we can't even do it right now because Vanguard is closed until next week sometime. So yeah, that kind of sucks. So there's one thing to keep in mind there. Also want to make note of, as we all know, the new difficulty will be coming up underway as well. This is the message that we received on our Essence transfer. So yeah, we get to see all our current loyalty points that we have acquired again go and become legacy loyalty points, and have to start that entire process all over again in acquiring loyalty points upon the new difficulty unlock. So hooray! Yeah, that system has its pluses and minuses, and that is a huge minus, honestly, in all things considered. Before, we used to be able to get one right out the gate of a new Essence whenever they would release it for a new difficulty, but that's no longer the case. I do find it funny and also sick at the same time that I have now surpassed my legacy loyalty points by my loyalty points, but again, once we get the Inferno 7 unlocked, that's going to go reset to 0, and these are going to kick over into the legacy points anyway, so whatever. Oh, man. But anyway, there's that. Now, another one to keep track of here is a very important one, and as much as we may have had our kind of mixed opinions on this one for the threefold rebirth here, the set item reforging. Now, I've purposely let this one go for a while. There's a couple things here that I want to make note of. This was actually, if this was permanent, if this was in the game permanently, this would be okay. This would be a better system if it was in the game permanently. But since this is only tied to the duration of the 19th on the next update, it's going to expire. It kind of sucks. But nonetheless, there's a couple things I'm trying right now, and as you can see here, I have 8 remaining reforges currently. I will get an additional 2 added tomorrow as of this recording. So I've been letting these build up on purpose because I wanted to see, for one, after the first couple days, I was like, I'm not sure if these carry over or not, and they do, and they did here, so this is nice. Much higher of a chance to get a triple roll out of this, a better piece of gear, and this would be much more worth your time if this was again a permanent fixture and would have a system like this to where you can just let these reforges build up and then roll on whatever pieces you're really needing. Then that would be so much better. Devs, please take that into consideration. That would be very much greatly appreciated. However, you'll probably just put some other convoluted spin on it and make it worse than, you know, what we're suggesting. But anyway. The other flip of the coin on that, however, on the upside is, I've heard, I haven't tested it myself, but I have heard from a couple sources now that you can actually use older pieces, older difficulty pieces, and it will still reforge into your current difficulty piece. So that is actually a nice thing on the uptick for this to be considered for the set reforging. But anyway, this goes on until the 19th of the next update, so keep that in mind. If you haven't started saving up your reforges and you actually really still need a piece at the very end, even though we're going to be pushed up to the next difficulty and have to refarm all our gear all over again with what little wisps we have to convert to the next difficulty up, and so on and so forth, rinse, repeat, that kind of usual thing. This is still, you know, you still have some days that you can acquire some reforges and just save them up for that last minute, you know, big combat rating hopeful push and get a piece that might be good for a while until, of course, you can find another replacement. So there's that, right? And also on the, we have challenge tasks, if you haven't noticed already, on the 13th, which is the day of this recording, to complete some more for the threefold rebirth path. There is another one right on the 16th, right before you can get an additional 150 points there if you need them. In my case now, as of finishing the challenge tasks for today, that maxes this entire bar out. So there is no bonus for getting any more, and I'm done with this. So I don't even have to think about it anymore, but still nonetheless, again, just for the set item reforging on the 19th, this one is going to end. Just trying to keep all our ducks in a row here, everything aware of what's going on. This one doesn't end until the Inferno Trials. The monthly event center is still good to go for a bit, so we're fine there. This one, of course, is just the check-in, the usual stuff, and this one ends on the 23rd, but that's really whatever, just as long as you're logging in certain days or doing completing certain tasks anyway along the way. You'll get these paltry rewards here, a meager 1 Telluric Pearl just for logging in on the 15th, and then 1 Legendary Crest. Yeah, these kind of suck. But the only good thing about this one, honestly, is we get the 100% experience boost in your Battle Pass experience while this is ongoing. Now, I'm still haven't reached the cap for the week, so I'm good to go on this, and I'm going to make the most of it. I'm still not going to claim my Battle Pass points until Monday for that last minute experience boost. And of course, there's a whole bunch of other things that you can do for that extra XP boost out there, of course, that I know Mao's done numerous times over for the, you know, the world first kind of deal to make it to that 900 Paragon with ease. And it's fine, it's whatever, but honestly, you know, for the vast majority of the casual player base out there, don't sweat it. We all will get there within around the same time if you're playing, you know, the game pretty consistently enough anyway. So it's not that big a deal. The hardest part is, of course, rebuilding up all your gear all over again, wisp farming, crafting, all that kind of thing. And of course, then with the introduction of Druid soon, yeah, all these other things to be kept in mind, of course, will be your all these mystery legendary boxes and the ones from the previous event centers and such, where you can go for specific essence slots that you may want. So that is why I haven't really touched mine in a while. I haven't had the need to, honestly, so that's why I have a fair amount of them saved up. And if I do switch over to Druid when it comes out, I have some things to work with. But anyway, that's a little off topic, but kind of on the same path as trying to keep everything in line here, everything in check, because again, you know, oh, Mirror Jewel, if you haven't done it already, ends tomorrow. So make sure you do your one and done mirrored jewel double gem drop chance run. Good luck, best of luck to you for those that haven't yet, but make sure you do that because that one ends tomorrow. So I guess today technically would be for sure as almost the last time to get it done. So make sure you get mirrored jewel done if you haven't already. Just reminding everything here. And of course the shady stocks, whatever, I'm not even really, yeah, that one ends tomorrow at the same time as the mirrored jewel, so I guess there's a date to follow. Okay, and then the Phantom Gallery ends on the next update on the 19th as well. So if you want to partake in that one, then well, you probably already have, let's put it that way, if you want to partake in these things. Okay, I think that covers everything that's going to be ending. Just trying to make a quick video post here to remind myself on these things. Like I said, the biggest one is indeed the set item reforging. And I'm just letting these build up, and then I'll do a last-minute push on some last-minute pieces that I am still far behind on, which is pretty sad, honestly. But the nice thing is you can throw in old pieces. You can throw in some of your older pieces from previous difficulties if you still have them, which I do, and use them in the reforges. So that's kind of nice. Again, like to see this as a permanent fixture. This was a nice test run, I guess, I hope, and maybe they'll get data off of this and see that, yeah, we did do it. Yeah, granted, a lot of us didn't like it, and it's, but if this does become a permanent fixture, that would be far, far, far better, and have us get, maybe one reforge a day, even if it was a permanent fixture. That way we can just kind of let this build up and do it that way. We'll continue to farm our gear throughout the dungeons, continue to farm up wisps, and then, do the reforges when we get 3 of the same pieces that we don't like and have at it, That would be far, far, far better than what this is in short term. But anyway. Okay, anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world. For as always, take care of yourselves as best you can. One day at a time, it's all we can do. Until next time, see ya.